Morning, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. So today we're going to be talking about rest, and because this is an issue that I see pop up way too often, and especially with regards to injuries and how people go about self-treating themselves. So a lot of times I hear, oh, I like ask people like, what have you tried? What's worked? What hasn't worked? And 9 times out of 10, people are like, oh, I tried rest. I'm like, well, how much rest have you done? They're like, oh, good 2 or 3 months. It's way too much. And so today I want to be talking about why rest is rarely ever the answer or the solution to truly fixing the issue or the pain that you're experiencing as well. So and another cycle that a thing that people get in the trap of is the cycle of resting. They'll rest for like 2 weeks. They'll be feeling good throughout the day, and they're like, okay, I think I'm ready. So for example, like with runners, they're like I'm gonna rest for a week or two, and then they feel pretty good because they haven't been running. And then once they go back to running, that problem keeps coming. That issue pops back up, and then they go back in that cycle of resting for, oh, they're just like, I just need more rest. Wasn't enough. So they rest for 3 weeks, and then they try to go back in and run. Same issue pops up. And the reason for that is because they're truly not treating the root issue of it. Rest can be beneficial. What rest does, don't get me wrong, rest is beneficial and it's needed to a certain extent. So we should be resting. We can rest for about a week, but during that week, you should be doing corrective exercises to help try and figure out and treat the root issue in the meantime. So the rest is good because it does help decrease the inflammatory response, decrease that inflammation, which will in turn decrease the pain, and kind of gives you a nice, good reset button. And then you can try and work your way back into it. But you got to also, it's like, I'm going to just keep using examples for runners because this is a patient population that we see this issue the most with regards to rest is you want to slowly ramp back up into that after resting. You don't want to just go from 0 to 100 and trying to get back to where you were before right away. But yeah, it's super important what you're doing with that week. Okay, work on finding your deficits and working on correcting those, and so you can progress back into running or whatever activity that you're looking to do. So and a lot of times rest can be actually more problematic than anything. So what happens is a lot of times the root issue of the problem or the pain that people are having with running, with biking, with hiking, with climbing, with strength training, is that there's muscle imbalances. There's weakness, and when there's imbalances or weakness, other muscles there'll be compensatory patterns, and muscles will start becoming tight and just kind of irritated, and then the inflammation process starts, and then that causes pain. So usually the root issue of it is weakness. A lot of times people have imbalances with regards to weakness, and that's really truly the root cause. And so if we just rest, if that's all we do is rest, is those weak muscles that were already weak get even weaker because now we're not using them whatsoever. And then on top of it, the muscles that were strong become weaker. So not only does it put you at an increased risk for making the issue that was actually already the problem worse when you return to the activity you're trying to get back to, but also pre-exposes you to other issues around that up and down the chain. So, for example, like if I'm dealing with a knee injury with running and I rest for a week or two, what happens is the muscles around the knee get even weaker. And then on top of that, the muscles like in the hips, in the ankles, and the feet, your core get weaker as well because you're resting. You're not stressing those muscles enough to maintain that strength. And so now when we get back to running, now we might not just have a knee issue that plagues us, but we also might have like Achilles tendonitis pop up, or we might have plantar fasciitis, or we might have uh, sciatica or something like that pop up in the hip. And it's kind of like it just makes the initial problem bad or worse, and it can also, yeah, lead to other issues up and down the chain as well. So I think this is a super important topic because I usually it's people's first go-to, and it's okay to give that a try. But 9 times out of 10, it's not the true solution. So, what is the solution? First, figuring out what the root issue of your issue that's going on. What is the true problem, and where are these imbalances coming from, and then addressing those that way. So, yes, bottom line, It's okay to rest, okay, but it shouldn't be more than a week. And during that week, you should be taking steps to addressing that root cause. Okay, so that's my big spiel on rest, and so yeah, hopefully you guys found this beneficial and informative. And if you guys have any questions about rest in general or treating root causes of whatever issue that you're dealing with, please let me know. All right, thanks, guys.